Yes, yes, yes. It's the yes, yes, yes man, but I ain't no yes man. So Raphael Dawkins is the Combat Radio. And what was that song that was just on my mind just a second ago? Oh yeah. Time is on my side. Yes, it is. No, it is not. Time is absolutely not on your side unless you're some little fresh vegetable or some little spring chicken, which most of us are not. You see, there's a season for everything. We have the spring of our lives. Yeah, we got the summer. Now, in the summer, that's when you're potentially at your physical peak in the summer time. Eventually, if we're lucky, we drift into the autumn of our lives. Now, you're probably at your mentally fittest, mentally. Yeah, you may not be your fittest physically in the autumn of our lives, but with the knowledge you've accumulated, hopefully accumulated, if you've been living, and the experience you have accumulated, and the people that you have spoke to, the books you have read, that probably leads you into your peak, your mental peak. So you've gone from your physical peak, there may be some crossover, and moved into your mental peak. Okay, that's the autumn. And then we arrive at the grand finale, the winter. Now, in the winter of our lives, we have an accumulation of things, how you treated yourself in the spring and in the summer and in the autumn, the nutrition that you have taken on board, be it good or bad. This will reflect in the winter of our lives. But one thing is for sure, don't expect to have a summer performance in your late autumn, approaching winter years. And that's what Mike Tyson did. And I don't understand. And I don't understand why some people thought that Mike Tyson was going to win this fight. It made no sense to me. Mathematically, that just don't go. You're not going to have a guy who retired from the sport because of his diminishing skills and capability 25 years ago, and then come back a decade and a half later expecting a peak performance against a spring chicken in his summer years. Mathematically, that just don't go. So I didn't understand what people were thinking. There was a talk at the workplace that William Hill were offering 70-1 odds of Mike Tyson stopping Jake Paul. So why were they offering 70-1? Because they knew that mathematically that wasn't going to happen. Yeah, I said I'll chuck in a tenner. Another guy said, yeah, I'll chuck in a tenner. But something wrong with the guy's app or Wi-Fi or something. It didn't happen. So I just saved myself £10. You got to put £10 on it as an outside possibility. But logically, that made it wasn't going to happen. You got one guy in the spring who was a half-decent boxer, and another guy in his autumn. But of course, being a sportsman, sometimes you're better off, for health purposes, being an amateur sportsman rather than a professional, because the professional games can literally wear out the body. I think if you'd have had an amateur guy in there against Jake Paul, a guy who's competed as an amateur his whole life, he'd have probably done better than Mike Tyson, because the amateur probably, most likely, most certainly had not red-lined his body as much as a professional boxer. So the outcome to me was almost inevitable. What happened was that Mike Tyson really wasn't landing that much. He probably expected Jake Paul to walk on something, but Jake Paul is a half-decent boxer. He's a decent boxer who's been in there with a few cats who are far more experienced in the fight game than he, and he has overall done very, very well. Mike Tyson redlined his body too much, not just in the ring, but out of the ring. And so to me, it was very clear that having a peak performance in the autumn of his years was going to be highly unlikely. How much has he damaged his icon status? Well, in the short term, I don't think people are going to rag on him too much. This is a tale as old as boxing itself. The guy in the autumn of his years being convinced by others, and maybe even convincing himself, that he had something in the bag that quite simply hadn't been in the bag for decades. That stopped by Jake Paul. Like I said, Jake Paul was landing some, or just missing, some pretty decent shots, and so the writing was on the wall from early on. Early on, Mike Tyson kind of looked like he was going to be landing some a decent shot or two in the first. May have caught Jake Paul in the first or second. Jake Paul's eyes went wide. Oh no. Thought for a second this might be the Mike Tyson of old, but it most certainly was not. I think that Mike Tyson's icon status will remain, and I think that he also knows that he can't mix it with this caliber of fighter again. Stick to other guys who are in their autumn. That would be the best recipe, or even better still. You've gained your icon status decades ago. Just work out for fun, work out for enjoyment, but you don't want to be catching shots to the dome piece in the professional ring if you can at all help it. You've got wealth. Looks like you've maintained some health, family, and what more do you need? Health, wealth, family, mental faculties relatively intact. I think his icon status will remain, but he can't be doing this. Okay? So there you have it. Sir Raphael Dawkins is the Combat Radio, and I'll see you out with this. Time is on my side. Yes, it is. No, it is not. Sir Raphael Dawkins, Combat Radio. And we are out.